Now we're here with Karl Brauer from Kelly Blue Book. It's been a few months since I haven't been bothering you, Karl, so thank you very much for taking the time and talking to us.
No, happy to be on. I'll be happy to talk to you.
No, thank you. So very interesting. Just the results for July sales. New cars came out, and can we say the recession is officially over, at least in the automotive industry? It seems that everybody's doing great.
I think we can, for now at least. You're right. I think plenty of people still think the recession is going on. It feels like it is to them, and they're right. But in the automotive world, things are definitely back to pre-2007 sales numbers, and I don't think the automakers could be any happier than they are right now.
Yeah, and as everybody says, like product. A lot of new, really good stuff coming out everywhere.
We've got fabulous product. We've got fairly easy credit that's available, financing, and we've got people driving really old cars. So you mix that all together, and plus some additional confidence coming just because there is some slow rise in housing values and the stock market and all. You put it all together, and you've got people buying a lot of cars.
Yeah, I guess Chrysler, I mean, it's been, I already lost count. I mean, like almost 60 consecutive months of growth, and they are again on the top, like 20% growth this month.
Everything's really played out well for Chrysler because they've got two powerful brands, the Ram truck brand and the Jeep SUV brand. And those two categories are doing extremely well just universally. And when you have two divisions at Chrysler devoted almost purely to those two categories, then you're going to do really well. And that's where Chrysler's really benefiting. And then they're doing, positive things too. The Dodge brand, the Challenger continues to do well. Of course, they just came out with that Hellcat with 700 plus horsepower, and now the Chrysler 200's out, which is going to help the Chrysler brand. So they're doing very well because they've got a lot of great product, very well positioned for today's market.
Yeah. So a couple of questions about Chrysler. So we all of us, or some of us, that said that the Cherokee design wasn't that good looking, and we were completely wrong, I guess, huh?
Well, I remember everyone kind of freaking out on it, and of course, the first images were like, in a factory, not particularly attractive color, a white-colored one with terrible background, terrible photography that somebody was sneaking out. But I felt confident that because of the car's, packaging and pricing and that part of the market being so hot, that the car was going to do well. I never really questioned that, and it certainly has been like a real golden goose that's laying a lot of golden eggs for a Chrysler brand.
Yeah, and the other question is about the Hellcat, the Challenger Hellcat, 707 horsepower for $59,900. I mean, are they going to make any money on that car? I mean, it seems like a gift almost.
Well, I think a lot of people, myself included, expected a higher price. So I'm very impressed with Dodge's restraint. I think they could have asked more and justified it. I mean, if they'd asked $70,000 and people thought it was too much, their response could have been, fine, go buy another 700 horsepower car. I mean, you can't unless you spend, 4 times as much. So I think what they really wanted to do was just keep resonating that value equation that they're claiming for the entire Challenger line all the way down to their 27,000 base model. And they're doing that really effectively because of that Hellcat. I mean, the car is a little ridiculous, really. I've driven it at a track, and it barely feels even properly, unleashed at a track. So on the street, it's just very excessive. But that's kind of the point, is that they've got the ability to build that kind of a car and make it as drivable as it is. It's not that it's not drivable on the street. It drives really well. But that level of horsepower is hard to utilize on the street, as you can guess.
Yeah, I had the opportunity also to drive. I guess you're referring to the event in Portland a few weeks back, and that car is very, very impressive. And I heard that they're gonna bring the Challenger also with that kind of engine, which is gonna be kind of scary too.
I know, man. Then you can have like a 4-door family car that can scare, exotics, which is kind of cool if the Charger's got that level of horsepower soon too.
Yeah, it's amazing what's happening in the industry. Really, when you see companies being able to do those kind of things, things are going well. Any other thing any other car or company that surprised you in this recent report on July sales?
Yeah, the sales were really up, and of course that included General Motors, and this is all in spite of the, kind of recurring headlines that relate to all these recalls they're having. And I just am impressed by the company's ability to manage that situation. And Mary Barra has done a fabulous job of portraying the company as a changed company from when a lot of those cars were made with these problems, as well as portraying how effectively it's addressing those problems with its compensation package. So I think people are, appropriately convinced that this is a new GM. They don't build those cars anymore, and they don't have the problems they used to have, and they're willing to fix those problems even though they happened 10 years ago, and they're a new company now. They're willing to help out the victims. And all of those things rolled together, plus just really good new product. I mean, you've driven a lot of the new product. They've got such good new product. People are just really not fazed by these recalls.
Yeah, you guys at kellybluebook.com had actually a little survey about this topic. Very interesting results on it. Like 50% of people don't think this is a problem anymore, like the cars that are being recalled.
Yeah, 50% of people think that General Motors is a different company than it was 5 years ago, in a good way, obviously. And 39%, so almost 4 in 10, think that they're building more reliable vehicles than they were 5 years ago. So, again, they're really getting that message across effectively to the customer, and it's being rewarded in their sales numbers.
Yeah, two cars that came out actually this week, at least for the media events, the Cadillac ATS and the Mercedes-Benz C-Class. Have you had any opportunity to drive those?
No, instead of those two, I was driving the Acura TLX back in D.C. So, and of course, I can't talk about it until Monday morning as it's embargo. Yeah. But a lot of car activity, a lot of new product activity, a further reflection of how vibrant the industry is when you have this many new models, 3 events in 1 week, all of them on fairly mainstream models too. But I've heard good things about the C-Class, and I think it's going to do well for Mercedes.
Yeah, and also the ITS, I mean, when you have a chance to drive that coupe, it's really impressive. I actually like much better the 4-cylinder 2 liters turbo with the manual transmission, which it's almost rare that they are keeping that manual transmission, right? Because the volume of sales for that is pretty low.
Cadillac's really done a good job of bucking that trend. Remember, they also had the CTS-V wagon with a manual transmission available until just recently on the previous CTS platform. So Cadillac's done a good job of knowing there's not a lot of sales volume in manual transmissions in 2014 or in the 21st century generally, and still offering them. And that I think it's a great statement to companies making about a dedication to even a small, narrow niche of performance enthusiasts.
Yeah. So going back to the yearly adjusted numbers, I mean, we mentioned that we are going to reach almost the numbers that we were at 2007, so almost exactly 7 years back. And not try to ruin the party, but how long can this go on?
There's things out there that are kind of hard to predict. I think probably the biggest one being the geopolitical nature of the planet we live on and forces that go well beyond our control outside this country. But I think within the U.S., whether you're talking home values or employment or available credit, a lot of the things that are contributing to these sales, there's no reason to believe those aren't going to continue essentially unchanged, at least for the rest of this year and potentially for another couple of years. We still have pent-up demand because of the last 7 years with nobody buying cars. Yeah. So I still think that's the overriding factor. And some people say younger people aren't buying as much. Some people say that we can't do this forever. There's all this leasing stuff going on. People are leasing; those cars are going to come back off lease. That could hurt things. But ultimately, I still think pent-up demand is the overwhelming force that we're dealing with right now, and that means there's going to be a lot of car sales for the next several years.
Excellent. Karl Brauer from kellybluebook.com. So, Karl, one last thing. What other cars from? We haven't mentioned Hyundai or Kia. The Sonata? What's your opinion on that one?
Sonata's really good. I mean, that car, the fact they redesigned it so quickly after the last redesign in 11, and they've got CarPlay in there, the new Apple system, which I think is going to be a paradigm shift for people who are sick of these confusing in-car systems that are used to their Apple iPhones, because that's what it is. It's the same thing in your car. I think that Sonata is going to do very well for them. And Kia, the same thing. They've got the new Sedona coming, and the new Soul EV EV, and the new Soul's already out and doing well. So both those brands, they've had to struggle a little bit because of the competition from the rest of the industry compared to years ago when they kind of were doing so well. But I think they're going to continue to do fine, and things are going to kind of settle in now, and they're not going to lose any more market share. They might start to gain some back.
Yeah, and actually they are influencing the changes in, like, for example, the Toyota Camry, like, also was new in 2011, and now they're releasing pretty soon the new one, which is pretty amazing too.
Yeah, they forced the Camry to up its game because of how good the Sonata is and just how good their product generally is, for sure.
Yeah. Well, Karl, any other interesting stuff going on at Kelley Blue Book these days?
Just, we're really enjoying, watching the industry, and we're thankful that things are going so well. We've got a lot of people shopping for cars, 19 million visitors a month coming to the site. That also reflects how much interest there is in car shopping out there and car buying. And of course, we're sponsoring Dale Earnhart Jr. We were out at the track last month watching him race at the Sonoma Raceway up there in north of San Francisco, and he came in third, his first top 10 finish since on a road course ever. And his car was all done up in Kelley Blue Book livery. So yeah, we're having some fun over here, doing some things we haven't done before at Kelley.
Well, thank you very much, Karl, and I hope to see you soon on the road, and or at least talk to you over the phone soon enough. Okay?
Absolutely, great talking out here.
Thank you. Have a great weekend. Bye.
You too.